Check, check, check. Sound check. You guys hear me all right? All right, awesome, 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 awesome. Give it a moment. Let some of you guys jump on. Awesome. We have a lot of contact to cover, guys. What's going on, Roxanne, Richard? We have a lot of contact to cover. Oliver. We have this much contact to cover. It's a lot. What's going on, guys? I'm just going to give it a moment. Let everyone get on. Take a sip. So we left off on October 29th was our last contact. October 29th. And we've had record-breaking contact since then. So guys, I'm going to jump on here and say, what up? It's Donut. No, I'm just kidding. So if you guys don't know, Donut, the Donut Factory, he's awesome. You guys need to check out his site. He's amazing. He says, what up? It's Donut. I'm going to deliver you with all your Illuminati news. No, I'm not. I think he's great. And I think he's been off the air for like a week. He got some strikes against him, I guess, from the Beebs, over the Beebs or whatever he's called. But anyways, that's a whole nother show. But you guys should check it out because he does a great job, and I want to give him a shout out, and I'm going to send it to him. So, guys, we're at episode 39. Last contact from episode 38 was on October 29th. And we're really going to just jump into it. Normally I talk a little bit in the beginning. But there is just so much to cover. We've got new guys. We've got new information. A lot of detailed information. And we're going to jump right into it. So with that being said, I know there's a couple of you that made contact with me. The time you see this will be at the end of the show, because they're handling certain things, some of my advisors. So guys, October 29th, 2021, on episode 38. We're on episode 39 on the Lyran Connection. I'm your host, Alexander John, and we're going to jump right into it. It is a lot of meaty, juicy information, a lot of good news, and a lot of, I don't know about that kind of news. So we're gonna get right into it. I have received a couple of images, but they've been processed. They haven't come here yet. Otherwise I'd show you. So there's 3 images, and I'll describe them as we go along. And then when they come in on the next episode, we'll go back and for the ones that I can show, I will show. And let's get right into it. I hope you guys are doing well. So, like I said, October 29th was the last message, and that message is, we are now entering the time of travel. We will be back again in a year. And there was an asterisk, -3. So we're assuming a year minus 3 months. Don't know, but let's just jump into it. November 9th, Tuesday, November 9th at 12:29 p.m. I received a message that said at 12:29 p.m., air travel acquired from surface to sea Fighter, lending may increase your credit. And then I received an image 2 minutes later, and the image is of a craft. I'll describe it. It's a craft I haven't seen. Well, I know of the craft, but I don't remember coming to the earth, being white. It's an attack fighter craft. It's a close-up shot of it. And I ask at 12:36 p.m., who am I speaking with? Because as the seasons change, as the hours change, I don't know who I'm talking with. I don't know what's going to happen. And we just go, along with rolling with the punches. I said, who am I speaking with and what exactly am I looking at in this image? The craft is sleek. It's rounded. It has definitely where it looks like it is definitely a third-dimensional, man-made or humanoid-made craft, and definitely it looks pretty sick. I received a response on the same day, on that Tuesday, November 9th at 12:38 p.m. They stated, "This is the vessel of heaven through the sea to receive you from the enemy." I said, "What is the location?" They responded, "To you." So when I hear that, that means that this thing's coming in. Now, being in the United States, there are advanced technologies and things that are going on. It's not like a third world country where they can just come up and land. Some places that happens, and there's abductions and all kinds, a lot of stuff on the Midwest going to the West. But you're talking about different races than what I usually deal with. So they said, this is the vessel of heaven through the sea. Now we know we have a base off the northwest of Bermuda under the ocean. The ocean's been used for thousands of years. There are many bases throughout the world under the ocean. A lot of craft do use the ocean as a transportation. Let's just put it that way. I said, what is the location? They responded, to you. And then I said, to me, when should I expect arrival? And then I had a line break, which means, what is a line break? That means terrestrial agents, whether white hat or black hat, will jump in and communicate, and we can prove it. At 12:42 p.m. on Tuesday, November 9th, they did this. These terrestrial agents said, acquire the information on this object, of this object. So in real time, they knew I was receiving communications. They saw what I saw with the ship. And then they told me, acquire the information of this object. I said, who are you? I said, what information can you give me on this craft? And what time and day of arrival? Tuesday, November 9th at 12:53 p.m., they responded, detected within a block. Within block. Detected within block. So I'm thinking, okay, they're close. Are they saying city block? Or are they saying, what's going on? I said, you are within a city block from me? And guys, before we even go any further, just today, I had the Rainbow Ball downtown. I was downtown with my kids, and we saw that. And then we had multiple ships fly over, and then AWACS and aircraft and fighter jets started going up and viciously circling and flying all over the place. So I just posted that within the last hour. There was a lot of activity over my home this evening. But this is not... It may be related with this contact. It may not be. So let's continue. I'm just giving you that. So in case you go on the Lyron connection, you'll be able to see it for yourself. I said, you're within a city block from me? And then they responded Tuesday, November 9th at 12:58 p.m. Impediment at a distance, pull lines. So they're being impediment, like being blocked at a distance. So I'm assuming because of the continental U.S., there are technologies where, so they're being blocked to come any closer. Pull lines, meaning like shut down your device. Now, around this time on Tuesday at 12:58 p.m., this is around the time when I would start to go pick up my my little ones from elementary school, and I have to wait in a car line, and it's so fun. You sit there, and so this is starting to go down at that time, and I'm like, because I need to be totally focused on this. So I said, hang up device, lines are done, who sent you? And at 1:11 p.m. they responded, go outside, north face connect, mission from order to another, manuscript. So they're mentioning my manuscript because I document everything. So as you know, I the red circles, I have questions, and as the information is coming in, and then I manually, for the record, for the future, in case something happens to me, I've been documenting since 2013, everything, whether it's images, messages, code, whatever it is. And we're over 40 different, between entities, races, star systems. So they said, go outside, north face connect. So I did. I literally, in the car line, I stepped out of my vehicle. I look like a crazy person, and I'm facing the north, and I'm looking, and it was crystal clear blue skies. I don't see anything going on. I said, now I am looking north. And they responded, bury the code. And I said, bury the code. So my code within me, or physically bury the code? Because I've been told I have a code in me that can open and close gates or portals, basically. Gates, that's what they call them, or doors. I have, and it'll come up in here about genetic markers and my royal and all this stuff. So we'll go into all that. I said, my code within me, physically bury the code. Where are you? Do you need the manuscript? I await your response. I am picking up my children before heading back to my home. What location do you want me to be at? And then I didn't hear anything. And then I said, at 1:54 p.m., I'm needing information. Nothing. And then at 2:48 p.m., I said, I'm at home location. I'm back at home. And in back of home, so in the backyard of my home, and it's pretty secluded, as in there's wetlands back there. There's a lot of privacy back there. I said, I'm at home location in back of home, looking due north. Let me know what time to be ready. I didn't hear anything at 3:01 p.m. So at 4:15 p.m. that same day, just about a little bit an hour later, I received machine FTL. Now we know from previous episodes, FTLP is faster than light particle accelerator, and that's a technology. So they're saying machine FTL, so faster than light, is ready to plug in the code you specified in the correct order. This Lyrans refused to enter the wrong hands. So the Lyrans refused to enter the wrong hands. So the Lyrans are worried about this information going in the wrong hands, right? I said, did you already pick me up? And I don't remember. And if not, when and how do I send the code? Now, Tara is our lead advisor on the panel here with the Lyran Connection. And I was actually on the phone with her as a lot of this was going on, as a witness, as it was happening. And maybe it was just a change of weather. Maybe I wasn't feeling that good. I did have where I felt like my whole head spun from the right to the left, like dizzy for a minute. and I almost fell. But I had no loss of time. There was nothing that happened, but I didn't feel right. And it happened a couple of times that day. So that's why I asked at 4:18 p.m., did you already pick me up? And I don't remember. And if not, when and how do I send the code? Because if you're picked up or something happens, it could be like no time has passed, or it could be days. So I didn't feel any time passed. I didn't see any gap or where there was a red flag where like, hey, like I got taken. So, but I did have a dizzy spell. So, at 4:21, about 6 minutes later, they responded, "This is your ship." So they were referencing to the image that I did receive. This is your ship, which you used with your brother and the moon to decimate. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go again about the moon, the colonies of Cremona and the moon of Cremona. So Cremona, since I've started the Lyran Connection officially on social media, this moon has been hit multiple times. There's multiple races on this moon. It is 10,000 light years from here. It has insectoids on it, deep black insectoids. It has the Tyrant King we know from previous contact. So the whole thing is like, here we go again, because that's the last thing I want to deal with again, is I'm being blamed for the strike on Cremona. So they said, this is your ship. So this is the attack ship, which you used. And the ship is purple and blue. A lot of the royal blue and purple colors that match like the Soltraxi and other parts of the fleet of the ships. With your brother and the moon to decimate. So then I said, how could I have used this ship if I have been on the earth the whole time? When did I do this? Who is my brother? And they responded at 4:29 p.m., 86 days. And I'm like, 86 days until what? Or 86 days ago. And then I asked, are you Lyran? So then I was like, let me go back 86 days. And sure enough, that's when I had that image of the moon being hit again. So I'm like, wow, they're referencing Cremona again, the moon of Cremona. So at 4:42 p.m., they responded, I am not. So they're not Lyran, right? I said, what race do you represent? If you're not Lyran, how do you have a Lyran attack craft? Because they have what they say is my personal royal attack craft. I said, how do you have this? And they responded at 4:44 p.m. to be returned to you. I said, so you're returning this craft back to me? Can you drop this craft behind my home? Hey, why not? I'm going to say. So they're trying to retrieve, or they're not retrieving, they have it. They want to return it to me. I said, then they responded at 4:46 p.m. This is the blood signature on it. The blood signature on it. I said, what does a blood signature represent? And they responded at 4:48 p.m. Crime has fingerprints like this. Okay, so here we go again. I'm being set up. They're trying to pin this on me. So I stated at 4:49 p.m., I didn't do this. There are clones of me that are not me, and I was discarded on the earth and memory wiped and been here the whole time. Someone is setting me up. Because we learned over the last couple episodes that, from what I understood, I was sent here on, I wasn't reincarnated, I wasn't all this other stuff, that I was literally discarded here and dropped here. So this whole time, I'm like, I didn't do this. There are clones, because there are clones like Vivimus Lagunis in earlier episodes and other different clones. They're called cDNA clones, and they have a short shelf life, and they have a certain function, whether it's war or attacking or doing messaging or whatever they're doing. So they have my genetic code, and they have these clones out there. So, and this is going to be important, what's coming up later on in Contact. I said, I didn't do this. There are clones of me that are not me, and I was discarded on the earth, and my memory was wiped, and I've been here the whole time. Someone is setting me up. And they responded at 1 minute later, your passion for purchasing your ship appears again. So I'm like thinking, whoa, like manifestation, like, because sometimes I'm like, I wish I just had my ship. I just wish I had my fleet. I wish I'm supposed to be I'm a royal prince and blah, 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 blah. Hey, I wish I had this stuff. And be careful what you wish for, right? And they responded 1 minute later, you have asked me to send to you, meaning like the ship. I said, only because you said you are returning a ship belonging to me. From what I have been told, I have many ships. Please land ship behind my home. I will investigate. Hey, why not? If they're saying this, I'm like, well, go ahead and land it. There's plenty of room. Go ahead and land that ship back there, right? So Tuesday, November 9th at 4:54 p.m., they say, bury the information you didn't. So bury the information you didn't. Are they saying like, in my mind, I should have buried it? Should I take my manuscripts and hide them? I said, please explain in detail. Thank you. And then we had another terrestrial line break where it's definitely not extraterrestrial. It's not interdimensional. It's not a deity. It's definitely terrestrial, either white hat or black hat. And they say, give none. In English, there's no Latin, there's no code, there's no translation. It's straight up, give none. Like, don't give any information. I said, identify yourself. Line cut, nothing. Then I received a message. Actually, Commander Doug received a message at 7:03 on Thursday, November 11th, and he received, your ways and ability have consequences beyond your consciousness, brother tyrant. Whoa, wait a minute. So your ways and ability have consequences beyond your consciousness, brother tyrant. So they're calling him out. I said, so I responded for him on his behalf. I said, I used his name, but I can't say it on here. But I said, DBF is the tyrant brother? And then nothing. And I said, I await your response. And on November 13th, on Saturday at 6:23, I received code. Like the race codes or name codes, because they don't want to use names. So I had ... dash, ... dash. Like, my code is different. So every race, every council, everyone has a code. This code I've seen before. So we're just going to leave it at that. But we're going to continue going with Contact. And I'm going to read to you, and it's all going to start to make sense. So I said, it's missing the first dash in the code. That's not mine. Who is that code? I said, may I have an image of this being? I await your response. Where are you? And they responded Sunday, November 14th at 10:17 a.m. We closed the 4 gates. We brought back the evidence of the tyrant's brother who had been buried in a racket. Its actions are moderated by insects. You're stuck on the planet now. Thanks for your cooperation. So what? So we closed the 4 gates, and we know about these guys from the last episode. We closed the 4 gates. They wanted me to go. There was Mosk and his tyrant brother, and there was coordinates in Antarctica. And basically, if the gates weren't closed, these 4 gates connect other galaxies, and these ancient old law in violent insectoids and other things would pour in and attack the homeland, the royal grounds on Lyra. But the council wasn't listening to me. Ever since I broke Law 18 and my brother being in power, I've been shut out. So this is the Lyran connection, but I'm kind of like cast out as the Lyran connection at this point. Basically a coup. And so they're saying we closed the 4 gates. We brought back the evidence of the tyrant's brother who had been buried in a racket. Its actions are moderated by insects. You're stuck on the planet now, so I'm stuck here now. I was supposed to go back in less than 9 years. Thanks for your cooperation. I said, when you say stuck on the planet, does that mean I will never leave this world? Thank you for all your assistance and closing the gates. When my body dies on this world, what happens to my soul? Since I'm in a different situation because I was discarded here. I know for everybody else, but for me, I have to ask certain questions because I need to know. I have to ask it. So I said, when my body dies on this world, what happens to my soul? Can we have continued conversations in the future? What is the definition of buried in a racket? They responded Sunday, November 14th at 11:40 a.m. They responded, we went on time to get a detailed discussion of the tactical information that your brother hides in bugs within your country. They use the talents of a few talents in your world to control the clone, acts of horrific acts, and they paint the blame in the original model, which is a racket. So I'll read that one more time. We went on a time to get a detailed discussion of the tactical information that your brother hides in bugs within your country. They use the talents of a few talents in your world to control the clone, acts of horrific acts, and they paint the blame in the original model, which is a racket. I said, this is very disturbing and sick. Why would he do this? Thank you for your thorough investigation. Any suggestions on what direction I should take being trapped on the earth? How will I identify my tyrant brother in the future? With the gates being closed, does that mean all people on the earth are stuck here? Knowing the 4 gates are now closed leaves me wondering what that will mean for humanity. Will we ever really be able to prove the existence of extraterrestrials? Are we now a closed trap planet? Does this mean our ability to evolve within the galactic community has been stopped? Were the gates only used by negative entities? So I have all these questions, right? They state November 14th, Sunday, 12:13 p.m. Options left without you. Lyran's was the only choice, but their laws were rude and confused. We are partners, but I don't like how they treat family. It is important for me to hold your ship as your property. Your STX flagship is far from the planet. So they're saying like the Soltraxi, the flagship, they have possession of it. They've basically done their investigation. They don't like how the Lions are treating their own family. There's a lot of non-friendly. There's a lot of bad things going on, basically. I said, how will I be able to contact you to claim my property? Or when or how can I get my property? Thank you. Who is taking care of the flagship currently? Thank you for all your works. Because these guys don't have to give me this information. And it sounds like they're doing their due diligence and they're trying to figure out what's going on here. Sunday, November 14th, 12:19 p.m., they also state, sometimes hard questions have no answers. Your goods have been used by you for deeds committed by you and your other copies. It becomes law that such things should be done against you, and thus your crime should be committed. Don't forgive the thought. So I'm like starting to sweat a little bit because, again, it's not me. I'm here. So if there are clones of me and they're being used, they're not under my direction or control. It's not my higher self. There's strife going on out there, and they're utilizing copies of me, and then basically, like they said, blood fingerprint. They're putting it on me as I did certain atrocities, right? I said, how are they and why would they use clones for me? And at 12:23 p.m. Sunday, November 14th, they said, because you and others have genetic markers that belong to the royal blood. So because you and others have genetic markers that belong to the royal blood. I said, who are the other royals and are they on earth? So this means I will never be able to go back home. Are these genetic markers passed down to my 3 sons? And they responded at 12:35 p.m. They are not. They are a blessing and a curse. And I said, what makes them a blessing and what makes them a curse? Sunday, November 14th, the same day at 12:39, 4 minutes later, I receive an image, and the image, it's coming in, so I'll be able to share that with you at a different time. It's basically space. You can see the Milky Way in the back, and then there's, you ever seen like a red nebula, where it's basically this red cloud going around with a dark space in the middle? I said, what is this image of? And they responded at 12:40 p.m. the same day, our door has finally opened. I said, is that your gate? Does this mean you can become third dimensional? Because in the earlier episode, they said that the gates would have to, where they're going to be forced to actually come to our level, because we're dealing with 5th dimensional on up. They responded 2 minutes later, energy is a fluctuation from the closing times to open our doors to get home. So energy is a fluctuation from the closing times to open our doors to get home. And then in the same second, they also said, allows all dimensions up to the 10. So up to the 10th dimension. So from the 5th dimension to the 10th dimension. I said, when will you come back? And can we stay in communications? What type of beings are 10th dimensional? Where in the galaxy did this open up? Were you stuck here? Does the doors work both ways? Where is technically home? And they responded at 12:49 p.m. same day. We live in a particular area. Our house no longer endures life. I said, please contact me on a regular basis. Thank you. Safe travels. And then I asked, are you spirit? And they responded at 12:51 p.m. We are still not leaving. I said, okay, so you are staying. Then why did the door open? And at 12:52 p.m., they stated, the form of the spirit has not yet been given to us. I said, who will give you this spirit form? And at 12:56 p.m. they stated, "Our ship is not ready." I said, "You have a one-dimensional ship, correct? Or how does this work with your ship?" Because in the last time they stated that they almost made it like a jest, like, can it be so? You can ride in a one-dimensional, vehicle. I said, "You have a one-dimensional ship, correct? Or how does that work with your ships? Are you technically a race, or are you an ancient, or like what's going on here?" So they responded 3 minutes later, "It is impossible for the human mind to understand dimensional travel." I said, "I may surprise you. I would love to hear about it." And then at 1:01 p.m. they said, "We will communicate with the tyrant brother when this evening arrives." I said, "Do you have threats or enemies in your dimension? Is there light and dark forces? What will you say to him? You have direct communications with the tyrant brother? Will I ever know the name of the tyrant brother? Do you live forever? And friendly advice you can give me for my future." And at 1:38 p.m., same day, they responded, "We have enemies in the north region aligned to the 3 zones in the watery space. My brother's conversation with our tyrant will be more private. You know him in your current and past life. We live until our host body moves to the next. Be wary of your loyalty. They promise and do not hold until they fulfill their works." Hold up one sec, guys. All right. I said, "I have had contact before from the K-Log system." Now, K-Log is like a water system, like water worlds. I don't know where it's at. The reason why I'm bringing this up is I have so much data. I kind of want to, since we have a new thing here, maybe they can answer some questions I never got answered. So I just brought this up randomly. I said, "I've had contact before from the K-Log system, Kailog, a water system. Are you aware of the system and who they are? Who is your brother? When your host body moves on to the next, where do you go? What was my past life like and where was I? I await your response. Thank you for all this invaluable information. Who was I in my past life? Thank you." And they responded at 1:50 p.m. the same day, "The peasant and prince of the Lyra, plantar, and the criminal in the land, expelled by the tyrant's brother, the original tyrant." So I'll read that one more time. "The peasant and prince." So now they say I'm a royal prince from Lyra. And I was sent here along with Commander Doug. So the peasant and prince, okay, this is crazy, right? Of the Lyra, Plantar, plantar, and the criminal in the land, expelled by the tyrant's brother, the original tyrant. I said, "In my past life, was I the prince that had a friend who was a peasant? What was my name in the past, or title?" And then they responded at 1:56 p.m., "No names." And I said, "Understood. Will I have a future life? Would the peasant have royal genetic markers? Would my brother on Earth have current royal genetic markers? You did say I have royal genetic markers. Where is my father in all this that has happened? Was I loved by the people of Lyra? My father, through contact, gave me a message once. He said, 'I have always loved you, my son.'" And on Sunday, November 14th, 2:04 p.m., they responded, "K-Log system is very rare in the galaxy. Who will inform you?" Like, who sent this to you? I said, "A amphibious race contacted me and stated they hailed from the K-Log system. a water system. I don't know where in the galaxy this is, nor do I know why they contacted me. And at 2:08, 4 minutes later, they stated, "It is very odd. We require information about this." And I said, "What makes it odd? Because it's a rare location like you stated in the galaxy? Or I can go look the date up in my manuscript. It happened a couple years ago or so." And then they responded at 2:10 p.m., "None speak except their own." So basically, they only talk to their own kind. I said, "Possibly deception by another, or they somehow were making contact with me. Should I send an image to show you?" Because I also received an image from a K-log system. And then they responded back to me 3 minutes later, "Now we see the picture, yes." And I said, "Okay, we'll send picture momentarily. Stand by." Because I'm like, I got to go find this. It's an old contact. But they're like, "Now we see the picture, yes." But so then they responded immediately, "We see on your device." And I was like, wow, you can see all the data? All of the manuscript? And they said, "Yes, that is correct." 2 minutes later. I said, and then I didn't get a chance to say anything, because at 2:21 p.m., 1 minute later, they stated, "But only through your technology under the rules of our combat zones." Under combat zones? I said, "Wow, how do you see it? That's very fast technology you have. There are combat zones and rules? Who makes these rules?" And then 1 minute later, they stated, "We obey the laws of nature." And I said, "Is the K-log system friend, foe, or neutral? Can you communicate to anyone's device or only me due to my status? Is there a way I can get a copy of the laws of nature?" So then it's for the record. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, but I want everything. I may ask a lot of crazy questions, but I need confirmation for myself. I said, "Is Earth technically fall within a combat zone?" At 2:28 p.m., they responded, "We cannot speak for them. Talk to you immediately. Never fought so hard as we know. Far more advanced. However, to the most ancient beginnings of the life of the galaxy." I said, "What information do you have about the Crester of all?" I said Crester. Now, if I make a mistake, because I copy everything down, exactly how it is. Even if I make a mistake, I own it, it's down, it's for the record. So I made a mistake here, but it's kind of funny, but I said, "What information do you have about the Crester of all?" I meant to say creator of all. I said Crestor. And then they responded immediately, "No such information in Crestor." I said, "I apologize. I meant to write creator. The S is next to the letter A on a keyboard when typing. The corrected question is, what information do you have about the creator of all? Is a system like K-log a aquatic life system that helps repopulate new worlds or systems that need aquatic life?" Because that was mentioned in previous episodes where Contact has stated that there are aquatic systems, and when systems get wiped, they get replenished with the aquatic life. So then they responded at 2:41 p.m., "The most beautiful and complex is the eternal and the creator of existence. We can't enter that kingdom since our dimensional capacity is already there." I said, "Can you describe the kingdom?" And then they responded immediately, "Never." I said, "Did I overstep my bounds for asking? I meant no offense and merely curious." And 1 minute later, they responded, We're entering the door to charge capacitors." Okay, so like that door that opened up, that red and I'll show it to you guys when I get it in. So their ships have capacitors. So they're entering the door to charge these capacitors. I said the capacitors are batteries. Is cosmic energy what your capacitors are absorbing? And they responded at 2:53 p.m. Negative red matter allows us to exceed all the barriers of light that drive slow travel. So they use negative red matter. They charge up their capacitors, and they can exceed all barriers of light that drive slow travel. So they go faster than light. I said, where is negative red matter? Is it through the door? How does negative red matter convert into faster than light? Is any human on Earth aware of their race? And they responded at 3:04 p.m. Your query is related to giving nuclear fusion to the old man and hoping for a good outcome. We will teach your brother to speak in person. So they're thinking I'm asking these questions like trying to get technology or something to give to the old man, whoever the old man is, and they're gonna teach your brother to speak in person. It's almost kind of like threatening a little bit. Not threatening, but like we're gonna have a talking to. I said nuclear fission to the old man. I said, who's the old man? Am I being spied upon by terrestrial agents that work for Mosque Tyrant Brother? Because that's mentioned in the past. So, and they said we're they're watching us, we're watching them watch us, watch you. So I said, what do you call yourselves? And then they responded at 3:26 p.m. Brother, and you are observed, meaning like you are being watched. I said, understood. Does your ship change dimensional shape depending on what dimensional plane you travel? How many galaxies are in the universe? Because now I'm at a point where I'm like, they're answering so much stuff. I'm like, I gotta, for the record, let me just ask anything that comes to my mind. How many galaxies are in the universe? And how many galaxies work with or against this galaxy? How many exist of your kind in the universe? And then they respond at 3:47 p.m. We can't decode messages at this time. So I'm like, oh, like it's all shut down. Like the window's probably closing. Because there's time of when you can... Remember, we know about the 777 hertz, 888 hertz, and communications, and there's shift changes, and there's different empires, and there's different things, light and dark going on. So they said we can't decode messages at this time, which means because I'm speaking in English and I don't know it fluently, the language they're having on their end to decode what I send, but at the same time, they're doing something else, and it probably has to do with charging their capacitors because they're getting ready to jump. I said understood, and then at 6:22 p.m., a couple hours later, they stated, we've done the journey. The door will remain open for the second half of the cycle. The tyrant brother of the earth will change your time before midnight and will arrive. He gets some information stored in his brain. Now, I know Commander Doug has been compromised. He's had a chip. I didn't go to the location. I didn't get a chip. But they're going to give information to him. And then I received an image. And the image at 6:23 p.m. was... Now, we know about the gate, right? The door. That red, cloudy in space. That now in front of it, it looks like a black hole. They stated, I asked the question, is this image the door? What does that mean change your time before midnight? Who will put data in his brain? I await your response, thank you. How long is the second half of a cycle? 6 months? Is the doorway a temporary black hole or a wormhole? Arrive where? Then November 15th, so the next day, I didn't hear anything back. At 9:06 a.m., I said, in the image, is that a planet, moon, or black hole? Because I want confirmation. Because it almost has it almost looks like a planet. It almost looks like a moon. It almost looks like a black hole. It's in front. They've opened this thing up. Maybe it's something else. I just need confirmation. So at 11:01 a.m., they stated Giants Type B, capital B, house of lizard population in the sky. So that's a red flag. So they said Giants Type B. Now, is it like a giant gas, like a giant Type B gas giant, like a Jupiter? Or is this like, are we talking about giants? Because that's been mentioned before. I said giants type B and house of lizards have populations in the Earth's sky above our heads. Are they third dimensional? Or are you saying the images of a planet with giants type B and house of lizards in that sky? When you say giant type B, is that a race or a type of planet? Black hole? I wait your response. Thank you. And then they responded at 1:07 p.m. Monday, November 15th. After the gate is closed, the means of communication will be completed. We are many space guards. So they're space guards, like of the gates. Our genus is known as and this is a new race. I don't know this race. They are called the Triferens. So it's Triferins. So Triferins. Triferins. Our genus is known as the Triferins. You will join our hope in our legion, but I will give you your body, and your body will be placed in an army of worm species to continue your works. There was also gathered information about the brothers of the tyrant's brother, and are now in favor with the council, Lyra, because they have no records of their progress and have little misinterpretation in their laws. So I had a lot of questions. I said, what will my body look like? What type of research would I do? What does a worm species look like? As if I'm translating correctly. When does the gate close? How do I go from this body to a new body? And what will that body look like in what dimension? You have an army of worms? How do they operate ships, etc., etc.? Are the brothers of the tyrant's brother clones? I apologize for all these questions, but I am in need of answers. Thank you. You say you are many space guards. Do you only guard gates and or doors in space, or do you guard other things as well? After the gate closes, how will you make contact with me again, and how will you transfer me to a new body in the future? May I see an image of a Triferin? How long have you been working with the Earth that I am currently on? And at 8:23 p.m., November 15th, on Monday, they responded. Cyborg manworm, control the bugs and are our prisoners. So the insectoids are their prisoners. They appear as men, but have different organs. The gate is closed. We will perform surgical procedures. In the third reason, we have no army of worms, for they are men to continue for life. Their brother to the tyrant are two. We are the keepers of the gates. Their communications cannot continue until the four systems are reopening. We have been on Earth since his creation. I said, thank you for all this knowledge. How many gates are in the universe? How do you measure time and or cycles? I am trying to understand cycles. Are the cyborgs on Earth? I just heard Russian explosion in orbit from news. Is this true? So this is at 10:04 p.m. 10:04 p.m. on the 15th. Now what's crazy is, remember I had that Russian station, and then you see that fleet, those images from the last episode, and they said the Russians are going to use nuclear fusion or whatever, and they're going to attack different things in our system. Well, maybe it's a cover story. Maybe that's exactly what happened. But the other night, a satellite was hit in our orbit by Russians. That's what they're saying. And then the International Space Station, they were having to go and hunker down every 90 minutes because that debris was coming around. Did they really only hit their own satellite? Did they hit something else? But basically, what they were telling me happened, and that is a couple weeks later now. And I think that's pretty crazy. So it's another future proves past, like it happened. It was just the other night. So I had to ask the question. And then November 16th, Tuesday at 12:32 a.m., I was asleep, but I received, "We have already submitted these things to you. We gave it to your brother. He does not know the powers which he governs. His actions are consequences, which touch far and near, but he does not know. Communications at this time are even very difficult because of the optimum distance from your system." So they were already traveling, but still were able to make communications. And then I stated at 5:04 a.m., I woke up and I saw this. I said, "Safe travels. When will you return? What system are you at? Who guards the gates if you are traveling to other systems?" It's like you guys guard space and you guard gates, but if you're traveling, like who's at the gates? Is it a shift thing? Are they taking turns? So they talk about and that's where we're at currently. So that was Tuesday. Now, here's what's crazy. So they talk about the 4 gates, and I keep thinking, and I've told a couple of the advisors this. Now, if there are 4 gates, right, and they talk about the enemies behind the gate from the north, are we talking about the north gate, the east gate, the south gate, and the west gate? And if so, remember old time maps? If you go look at old time maps and you actually look at like the directional compasses, and it'll show like north, and there's like beings on top of like sitting, or angels, or whatever they depict on these things. Did they know stuff hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago? It just so happens that there's these 4 gates and they're directional, and there's these beings on them, and they're depicted on old maps, but yet I just find there are no coincidences. I mean, I think that's just too, I don't know, it's just something that's been on my mind. So who's guarding the gates? So the guarding the gates is well, it's a race. It's a bunch of them. They say they're 5th dimensional to 10th dimensional. They have prisoners. They guard gates, and they're aware of, back on Lyra, that my brother is using clones, cDNA clones on multiple people. So I'm one of them, where they're using them as like blackmail to do atrocities throughout the universe or galaxy, multiple galaxies, and then pinning it on the individual, while they've done their due diligence and investigation to find, not only did they were able to get the ships, they were able to find out exactly that they were doing these criminal acts. They were able to close the gates. to stop the old ancient ones who follow the old law outside of our galaxy to those 4 adjoining galaxies. They are also within the eternal kingdom, and they're aware of the creator, and they're aware of a lot of things going on. And so these guys sound pretty powerful. I'm trying to get more data and information. I was referring to when you said who's guarding the gates if they are traveling. I thought it was funny. Oh yeah. Yeah, because I'm just like, when it happens in real time, not that I'm joking around, but at the same time, I'm like, like, who's guarding, who's guarding the gates? Like, how does that work? Now, we know about from last episode, Commander, what is it? Chief ZXIS, and then it's and then Commander Foy, FOIS. So those are gate leader, a chief and a commander over a certain gate that was guarding. So that it's not just like one thing, you know, there's shifts, just like when they take shifts, and they told us last year, this past year, they communicate. I always bring back to that 777 hertz or 880 hertz. They identify other craft. They also communicate, and they take shifts. And that's where that dialect, lately over the last few months, we talked about dialect, because these translations are coming out perfect. There's no like, maybe they're trying to say this. No. It's these are pretty perfect. So, everyone has a different slang. Everyone is saying a different, it all depends on who you're dealing with. Now, these are 5th dimensional to 10th dimensional. That's a whole other ballpark, because a lot of times we're dealing with 3rd, 4th, 5th. Now we're dealing with 5th to 10th. We're talking about things that are outside the galaxy, within the galaxy. We're talking now the Pudrions. They use a black hole. Remember, we learned about black holes from them. They sling with a black hole. They are able to instantaneously give communications with a black hole. They're also be able to jump and travel pretty quick. So these guys use their capacitors to charge up negative red matter when they open a door, and then once it's charged up, they're able to go right across and still communicate. And it's hard for them, but they're still able to do it. So they're jumping, they're investigating, they're going through. They've cleared my name. That's good. They've called it out. They know that I didn't hit Cremona. A lot of good things, but a lot of questions. And we're always going to have these questions, though. It's so vast out there, and all these, there's so many federations, there's so many different things going on. It's you're just not going to get all the answers. You're just not. There's no way you can get everything. So, with that being said, I know that was a lot of data. Let me just make sure I didn't get anything. No, I didn't get anything on here. Wow, there's a lot of information here. Now, Tara normally sets up the Discord for after the show. Those, most of you know how to get on Discord. I'll go on in the after show chat. It's a lot of data. Some of you are going to have to rewatch, because it seems like it went by pretty fast, but seriously, that was the most contact we've ever had in one sitting, in a 48-hour span. We were over 40 messages, 3 images, and that was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And lately, today, there's been a lot of activity in the sky. I posted a lot of stuff on the Lyran Connection. I was downtown with my kids. My son, he likes getting comics and stuff. And we were down there, and he's getting his stuff. And I'm looking at him like, okay, well, here's another rainbow ball thing. Okay, maybe it's just a sun dog or whatever. Okay. this is happening way too often around the planet, and everybody's seeing this. I mean, it's all the time. When I was a kid, you would not see this. I don't remember. Do you guys remember being younger and seeing these rainbow balls all over? It just, no. Or maybe we're paying attention now and we're just seeing them. Okay. So then tonight, I mean, you're literally seeing, definitely ships just coming right over. I mean, like, it's at a ridiculous rate. And then, like, military, they're going all over. I try to capture what I could capture. And can you guys hear me? So I literally just got contact. So give me, guys, there's going to be a moment where this pauses. I'm not leaving yet. I just got contact. Let me see what it says. Oh, man, this is crazy. Let me get it before I jump off here. I can't memorize it, so I'm going to have to write it down quickly and break the code. So let me get prepared. I thought it was going to be a smooth transition. Let me see what this says. Am I going to get threatened? Is it going to be good news? I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen now. So guys, there's going to be a momentary pause, but I have to break the code. Give me about 60 seconds. I'll be right back. Give me one moment. All right, guys. You ready? Wow. Everyone jumped off. Oliver, are you here? If you're here, that's all. All right, I see it. Everyone's jumping back. I'll give it a moment. Let me take a sip. My mouth's dry. Very cool, though. Very cool. So these guys, now they say I'm partners with them. These guys, they didn't just say that now, but they said that in contact, that I'm partners with them. They just sent me a message, and they said, this is their exact message. We are 57 million AU from your world. So, AU is astronomical units. So we are 57 million, oh my gosh, we are 57 million astronomical units from your world. 57 million, where anybody, so I don't jump off here, anyone have a computer thing they can research? How far is 57 million astronomical units from here? Is that, off the top of my head, it doesn't sound, it sounds far, but that's not too far. 57 million AU, which is astronomical units from your world. Anyone have a rough guesstimate? Anyone want to look that up so I don't have to jump off of here? I don't know how far that is. That's not in our system. That could be in our system. That could be in our solar system. That's not far, right? 57 million. It's not light years. It's astronomical units. Well, ask them a question to see how quick they can reply. I did ask them. I asked them a question. Maybe using the gate just like the Pudrians. They could be. Anyone could look that up for me, though. In astronomical units. Now, I've had AU astronomical units in old contact prior to doing this show. The ones that kept on saying, those Anunnaki that kept on saying, coming, coming, coming. And they were like, the AU units were dropping rapidly. And they were amassing behind the moon. What is... anyone have anything? 57 million astronomical units from your world. Is that within our solar system? No, right? Anyone? 50. That's pretty cool, though. So they're watching. So every time I broadcast, ever since the meeting way back, this is getting brought. They're getting this. They know I'm on. They know that I'm giving the information out. So 57 million astronomical units from your world. That's all I got. That's pretty cool, though. We got it while we're here. I'm going to do some I can 76. I'm trying to look it up. All right, cool. Let's see what happens. Let's see what you find. Because like the Earth is how many astronomical units from the sun? That's how I did it years ago. I didn't memorize it. He thought show was done. Wrong. He jumped right off. He said, whoop. Well, either way, anyone? Man, I wish I had I need to start bringing a second device so that way I can, on the fly, look this stuff up. The astronomical unit, symbol AU, or AU, is a unit of length, roughly the distance from Earth to the Sun, and equal to about 150 million kilometers, 93 million miles, or 8 light minutes. Thank you, Angela. You're amazing. Whoa, so we are 57 million AU from your world, astronomical units. Probably what I told you. I don't remember, Mr. Fisher. Can you please refresh my memory? So, roughly the distance from Earth to the Sun and equal to about... That's pretty close. That's far. You guys. Angela says that's far. Oliver says that's pretty close, actually. So wait. 93 million miles. Wait a minute. Yeah. So, no, that is pretty close. Think about it. If it's 93 million miles, times, Angela says times 57 million. Well, they say we are 57 million astronomical units from your world. Yeah, and it's in AU. So, yeah, Marsha, you're correct. We are 57 million AU from your world. So they're in a system. Mercury is 57 million AU from the sun. But they're saying we are 57 million AU from your world. So if Mercury is 57 million AU from the sun, wow, are they at the moon? Or, what's the moon distance from the Earth? Mercury's distance from the Earth is 57 million miles, or 92 million using astronomy. Mercury has no moons. Moons are satellites that travel. Wow, so they're in our system. That's for sure. They're close. And that's probably why I'm seeing activity tonight. This is awesome. All right. This is what I'm going to do. I normally don't do this. But since I got this, I'm going to try to connect. That's halfway from the sun distance, correct? Yeah. So they're somewhere between the sun and the Earth. I mean, we're in the inner. We're not in the. They're not in the outer. They're in the inner. We're Tiamat, we're the asteroid belt. So they're prior. So they're here. Neptune is 30 AU from the sun. Oh, wait a minute. Is Neptune 30 million AU from the sun, or 30 AU? Sun is 1 AU from us. Oh my gosh. Correction. Marsha was correct. It's much farther than Mercury. Mercury is 57 million miles, not AU. Yeah, so that's right. We're not talking about miles. We're talking about We are 57 million AU from your world. So that means they are totally way out there, right? Yeah, that means they're so that's not who was over me tonight. Because if they're 57 million astronomical units, wow, they are in a totally different part of the galaxy or outside. Yeah, that is far. Giovanni's right. It's beyond. Yeah, you have to use space math formula out of your system. Yeah, well, I'm supposed to know all this stuff, but I'm wiped. And they said that's barbaric that they did that to me. Well, I was dumped off here like a dog. Here, we're just going to erase your memory. We're going to drop you off, but we expect you to know everything, and we're going to hold you accountable. Thanks for playing the game. And by the way, we're going to send some clones out and hit stuff and blame it on you. You can't even make this stuff up. 57 million astronomical units, and they're making instant so they're using the black hole technology to contact instantaneously. They're watching right now. So, hey, try. How do you say that? Triffians? Hey, guys, gatekeepers. Can you tell us the system that you're currently in? 93 million times 57 million equals miles from us. Wow, that's nuts. That's so far. Well, you think about it. These guys guard the gates that control the highways to. Remember, I had that star map that was sent to me. So these guys actually literally. There's 4 gateways to get to the adjacent galaxies from Andromeda and the other 3 that are around us. I don't have the exact so that I have it concrete, but they're adjoining. What they did say, they're adjoining galaxies, so they could be anywhere within 900 light years. Is that correct, Doug? Our galaxy is 105,700 light years, so they're in our galaxy. So, and we are on an arm of, there's like basically 4 arms to the Milky Way. So we would be in Star Wars terms in the outer rim, Tatooine kind of, where we are. And the oldest is towards the center, and the galactic center is the man, that's crazy. Divide by 57 million. So 63,241.1 per 1 light year AU, astronomical unit. Good job, Mr. Fisher. Wow. So we are 57 million astronomical units from your world. I wish they would tell me more. Nearest star is 4,246 light years away. Wow, that's a lot going on right there. Well, awesome. Yet again, what is this, like the 8th, 9th time that we've had contact while we've been on the show? Pluto is on average 39.5 AU. Oh, only 39.5. And they're like, we are 57 million AU from your world. That's incredibly far. And we have no sense of direction because it's not a left, right, up, down thing. I mean, it's with space, you have depth, and it could be who knows. Told you before it happened. Oh, and Russia. What do you mean? So what are you saying? Told you before it happened. Oh, yeah. And Russia. Yeah. So they told me, what was it, a few weeks ago? I'll pull that up. What was the line? I got it right here, and I have the image, which I shared with you guys of the station, and they said exactly this. This was, and I'll give you the date. There is the that. And then that was on October. So that was October 19th. And then they said, where is it that they said exactly the Russian? We represent 4 connecting systems. We have concluded a new global threat. We have a collective responsibility and must be involved in creating a network. The shift is coming and we are in control. Your posts are our eyes. Where is the Russian thing? Let's see. Give me just a moment and I'll read it to you. Here it is. Russia plans to use this is on October 23rd. Russia plans to use nuclear energy for nuclear space travel to ward off our allies from the past within the space system. We're watching them, watching us, watching you. And then, ironically, was it not last night or the night before last? And then that satellite they shot. So they're saying a missile. And how long would it take for them to get here from there? Well, that's the thing. They travel pretty quick. They're using red negative matter, opening a door, charging up their capacitors. They're making jumps. And let's just put it this way. They were just here 2 days ago. And if they were traveling this whole time, let's just say they've gone from here to there in 2 days with 57. They've gone 57 million astronomical units from here to there within 2 days. So they're traveling at roughly 27, 28 million astronomical units in a 24-hour span, and that's without stopping to go pee or get a thing at a gas station or anything. Check your Facebook message. If I do that, if I check my message, I'm gonna pause you guys. So give me Doug, are you on? Doug, are you on? I don't understand that. I didn't send you any of that. Are you on? Respond. Okay, Captain Potato. What is that you sent me? Because we had that conversation. I never messaged you. Like, what is that I'm looking at on there? I was just looking at that and it doesn't make sense. Maybe it's because I'm on here and I didn't get to fully absorb it and I'm trying to jump. But I don't remember that conversation. So what are you talking about? Like, what is that? Can you say on here, or do we need to end this and talk about that? Oh my goodness, it's just crazy. Can you speak to me? Speak to me. Speak to me. Because I stopped it to go check, and I went and checked, and you sent a screenshot. Yeah, regular text. I understand. We had that regular text. How long ago was that? Was that today? I don't remember saying that today. Hello. Respond faster. Maybe talk to another Alex out there. Mr. Fisher, explain. All right, we'll figure that out after. I'm not going to waste everyone's time on here. I don't know. I mean, I looked at that. It didn't absorb. I didn't soak it in. I'm still tripping on this 57 million astronomical units. At this point, guys, my brain is fried. It was our convo. If not, we got problems, Houston. Okay, but what are you referencing about it? What's the, like, you knew we were going to get contact, or like, what are you saying? Like, what are you saying? Because I'm not connecting. I'm not feeling it. Like, what are you saying to me? Like, what are you saying? Okay. Well, we'll figure it out after. Guys, I'm going to jump on Discord in a moment. You can meet me on there. We'll do after show chat. Yo, this is awesome. So, they're far, but you know what's really cool about these guys? Only the Pudrions, when they contacted from Andromeda. So these guys are contacting from far, like far. That's good. That's a good feeling to know that they can stay within contact and they're observing, they're aware, they know. This is good stuff. Can they fold space? That's a good question. Out of all contact since 2013, I haven't heard anyone mention the terminology of folding space. We've heard of black holes, the FTLP, faster than light particle accelerator. We've heard of the black hole being able to sling data and utilize for jumping between galaxies. We've heard of gates and doorways. And I've heard of, outside of contact, theories on folding space and time and all that kind of stuff. But nothing has ever been mentioned on folding space. So that's a good question, Andrew, that I'll ask. Thanks for the great show. And response from their question yet? No, nothing yet. There is no other way to travel. Folding space, contract space, expanded space, wormholes, portals is the only way. Yeah, but we're dealing with one factor we have to think about is we're not just dealing with third, fourth, and fifth. We're dealing with fifth to 10th dimensional and interdimensional beings. So we're not just dealing with the physical. We're dealing with interdimensional and higher densities. So it's like totally out of the ball league. So everyone has different technology, just like everyone has different slang and talk and how they, and everyone's different. So these guys are using, they're using some stuff, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, many portals, that's right. Guys, this has been episode 39. I'll catch you on the Discord. Tara, if you could throw up a link, if you are available. If not, I'll catch you guys on the Discord and we'll catch up. And any information, we'll figure it out. And guys, check out the Donut Factory. This is Donut. That's some good stuff. I tell you, I think it's hilarious. I've been saying it. It still cracks me up about their one-dimensional vehicle comment. Oh yeah, when they're like, can it be? Is it so? Can you ride in a one-dimensional vehicle? And then they told me, like, you would die if you went into a one-dimensional vehicle. So that's not fun. Thanks, love. Great show. Thanks, Marsha. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Love y'all. And I'll see you on episode 40, the big 40. And I'll see you on Discord in just a moment. Have a good night, guys.